This is Carl at National RV Detroit. I'm going to walk you through this 2024 Bullet Ultralight by Keystone. It's a 287 RLS. Now this is not a floor plan video, this is a how-to video, so I'm just going to show you some of the features and how they work. We're still in the shop with it, we're cleaning it up, but I'll work around all that. Okay, so you can see we have power stabilizers, two in the front, two in the back obviously. One switch controls both back, the other switch controls both front. I'll show you the switches when we get to them. You have an awning that's on the slide room, which is a power awning with lights, and then you have another power awning with lights on the side of the trailer here, so you have two of them. Outside speakers. Okay. Here you have TV signal out, that sort of thing, and some power here. You also have a backing plate here if you wanted to add an outside TV mount. It's up to you, of course. Two full LP tanks with an automatic changeover regulator. Deep cycle marine battery with a kill switch right here to shut the battery off. Power tongue jack with a hitch light. If this ever fails for whatever reason, you can pull this cap off, this plug out, and you can actually use a 3/4 inch socket in a drill or a ratchet or whatever you want to use to crank this up and down manually to get yourself out of trouble. This is just a hookup for if you wanted to purchase a solar battery charger kit, it would plug in right there. It's just an option. Okay, but this does have solar, of course. Let me get some light in here if I can. I don't know how well I can do here. Let me get down there and see if I can turn the light down there on so I can see. Alrighty. There we go. See if that helps. Okay, so you have a solar panel on the roof, and this is your solar controller. You're going to have to download the Victron app for this, and your phone will act as a monitor panel basically. So in order to understand what it's reading, you have to have the app installed on your phone, so keep that in mind. This has already been upgraded, and the firmware has been upgraded and the software has been upgraded, so it's current right now. The default code to log into it is 6 zeros, so when it asks you for the code, it's 6 zeros, and basically it'll tell you the voltage in the DC voltage in your system, what it is. It'll tell you the how much sunlight is being converted to electricity, you know, whether it's 3.0 amps or 6.7 amps or whatever it is. It's going to tell you how much is being gained and stored in the battery. It tells you all kinds of stuff, so you need to install the app on your phone. Okay, this is a kill switch for the solar panel right there. Okay, this is a spray hose right there. That's your dump hose there. This is a crank. Now this crank, let me get down here for a second. This crank, as you can see, it has a cylinder with a slot cut in it, right? If you look at the off-door side of the stabilizer jacks, it has a shaft with a pin sticking through it right there, right? So you can use that crank, you can put that crank on that pin with a shaft through it and crank the stabilizer jacks manually also if you need to. So you can get yourself out of trouble doing that if you have to, if there happens to be some kind of failure. When it comes to your switches, they're right here. Front and rear stabilizer switches, okay? This is a 3/4 inch crank here. You can use that if you're tongue jack fails, your power tongue jack, I remember I told you you could pull that plug on the top, use a 1/4" socket. You could also use this if you need to. Okay. All right. So you have your city water hookup, which is the most common way to get water to the trailer. Right here, you just hook the hose on there, turn it on, and your trailer's ready to go. Now, if you're camping someplace like boondocking or camping anywhere that doesn't have city water, you can pre-fill your fresh water tank right here, and then you can use the onboard pump to pump the water. I'll show you the switch for the onboard pump when we get to it. But if you're boondocking, you can still, if you pre-fill your tank, you can still use all the plumbing as if though you have city water. So that's a good thing. This is to winterize here. This is also to winterize your trailer also by flipping that on and off. You have a black tank flush here, so if let me get this right here. So when you dump, your black tank holds toilet water and waste. Your gray tank holds sink and shower water, basically. You can see you have your black tank and gray tank valves here. The black tank is on the right, it looks like. After you dump your black tank, you can hook the hose at the dump station right onto here, leaving your black tank valve open, turn on the water, and it'll spray out the inside of your black tank, clean off the sensors so you get a good solid reading, that sort of thing. So if there's a working hose at the dump station, I'll highly recommend using the black tank flush, okay? All right. This trailer has on-demand hot water. The thing to remember out here, the controls are inside, but the thing to remember, there's a rocker switch right here, right? And there's a fuse here. That's all you have to know about out here. If you're not getting anything inside, for example, it's not lighting up at all, you can come out here and check the rocker switch, make sure it's in the right position. 99 out of 100 times, if it doesn't light up, that'll be the problem. So keep that in mind, okay? Alrighty, that is your furnace vent there. This is your range hood vent here. You can see how it's flapping freely right here, this baffle. Well, you want it like that when you're venting to the outside. If you're traveling or in storage, you can snap it shut if you want to. But whenever you're venting to the outside, you want that baffle flapping freely. You have a 30-foot 50 amp cord, right? So you have that, plus we give the reducer to reduce it down to a 30 and then again down to a 20. Okay. That little cover there and the sticker tell us this is pre-wired for a backup camera if you ever want to add one. The ladder makes it easy to inspect the roof. The manufacturer states every 60 to 90 days you need to inspect the roof, which consists of somebody going up there looking around, making sure there's no cracking or separation at any of the sealant, and make sure that there's no damage to the roofing material or roofing attachments caused by, let's say, low branches or road debris, that sort of thing. That should be done every 60 to 90 days. You're just protecting your investment, so it's important to do that. It should be part of your regular maintenance, because you don't know what's happening up there unless you go up there and look. Okay? Alrighty. So, let's see what we have here. Okay. So, this is your control panel right here. So you have your two slide rooms, 1 and 2. 1 and 2. One's in here, I believe. No. Oh, okay, they're both up here. I'm sorry. So there's 1 and 2. Then you have your awning, which is this one right here. Remember I told you there's 2. There's this one here. Never leave them out unattended. If you're not going to be at the campsite, roll them in or they'll get damaged by the weather. Here's the other one, the one that's on the slide out. There's a switch for this one here. Alright. Okay. The water pump we talked about is right here. You're gonna run that water pump when you're pumping water out of the fresh water tank. If you're boondocking or you don't have fresh water and you took the water with you in the tank, you could pump it using that. Also, that's used to winterize the trailer. So when you in the fall, when you winterize the trailer, you're going to use that water pump there also. Okay. These are just your levels here. Of course, batteries fully charged. Everything else is empty. They graduate up in 1/3 increments. Okay, this is your thermostat here. You just hit the mode button. This one you'll have to hold till it lights up. Like that. Give it a few seconds. Right now that's the air conditioner. We obviously don't want that running. But you go through the different modes. We would go to heat right there. And now it's going to switch over to heat. Obviously you could adjust the fan here if they give you the option, and then there's up and down for the temperature. I'm just going to go to off, or I'm just going to go back to heat and then shut it off. Hold the button in until it goes off. There you go. So now it's off. It's that simple. Okay, what else do we have here? Okay, so you have a 12 volt DC refrigerator here. So this runs on 12 volt DC. Right. You have your microwave, which is a convection microwave right here, and you have your fan, your range hood fan plus light. Remember I told you there's that baffle in the vent on the outside. If you're running the fan, you want that baffle to be in an open position so it flaps freely. Okay. And of course with your range, this is your sparker here. I don't know if he's got the gas on, so if it doesn't light it, we'll just talk you through it. Oh, it does though. Okay. It's that simple. 3 knobs, 3 burners. Then this one is the oven. The oven has a pilot light all the way at the back down there. You can't really see it that well. There, you can see me sparking it right there. So what you do to light the oven is you're going to go to the picture of the flame, then you depress it. Keeping it depressed, you spark that till it lights. Once you see the pilot down here light, you hold in for another 10 or 15 seconds, 20 seconds, whatever it takes, to heat up the thermocouple. And once the thermocouple is heated up, you can select operating temperature, and it'll run as an oven does. But when you shut it off, the flame goes out, obviously, but so does the pilot light. So you have to relight the pilot light each time you use the oven. Okay. Then you have switches here, oven light and ambient light. Always travel with this in closed position. Okay. Okay. Pantry. Let me see if this is on a swing out bracket here, your TV. You have a fireplace also, right down here. There should be a remote for that somewhere here. Look through this trailer yet, but it'll be in here somewhere. This is obviously a TV remote. The TV is more than just a television. It's a smart TV. It has FM radio. It has Bluetooth. It has 2 speaker zones, A and B. A is inside the trailer, B is outside of the trailer. So the TV does a lot of different things. So keep that in mind. When it comes to your, always travel with this TV strapped shut too, because you don't want to fling around while you're driving, obviously. So there we have you turn it on there. You can. That was the fan speed there, so you probably can't hear, but the fan really kicked up now, so it's really putting out the heat. Now it's really going. Okay. You can change the color. All kinds of psychedelic stuff here. And you also have a timer on it, so you can turn it on, set it to turn on and off when you want it to, okay? And then off. Okay. I'll keep in mind, keep my eyes open for your remote for that, because it's usually just in the drawer, but I'll have to look around for it. Okay, so let's pick up here the this is a hide-a-bed, so you take the back cushions off, set them aside, then you're going to grab it down here, fold it out 3 panels and drop the legs. You got a really nice hide-a-bed. You have theater seats here, of course. Your dinette. This is your carbon monoxide LP gas detector. It should always be green like it is. If it's not green, get it serviced because it's obviously very important. It detects carbon dioxide buildup or LP gas, so if it's not green, get it fixed right away. It's very important, obviously. This is your power converter here. This converts AC to DC power. So as long as you're plugged into shore power, you'll have 110 AC at these breakers here. These are just like breakers you'd see at home. And they're all labeled, okay? Then the power is converted to 12 volt DC over here, so you got 12 volt DC fuses, and they're all labeled here. It's also a battery tender. So it'll sense how much energy your battery up front on the tongue needs when you're plugged in, and it'll send enough amps to keep it charged. So it'll always do that. Of course, when you're pulling down the road, your tow vehicle's alternator will charge the battery. And when you're just throughout the day, the solar panel will charge your battery as it can, depending on the conditions outside. So you got 3 ways to keep your battery charged. Okay? Alright. Bathroom. You have a sink and a shower that work like every other sink and shower. Keep in mind that this is GFCI here. All the plugs, even though if they're not a GFCI, are wired to a GFCI, so every one of them is GFCI protected. Now this is shut off outside, right? We talked about that. I'll turn it on just so you can see it anyway. The thing about it is it has safety built in, so unless when you demand water, let's say you turn on your hot water faucet, it has to have a source for water. That means you have to be hooked up to city water, or you have to have water in the fresh water tank and the pump on. If you don't do that, the safety will kick on and it won't turn on at all. It just protected itself, okay? So keep in mind, if you don't have water available to heat up, the gas burner will not turn on. All right, let's see if that did the trick here. Yeah. So here you can see now it has power. It's set to 124. You up and down temperature here. So now there's no water source right now, so it will not kick on. But normally you turn on the hot water. The shower hot water is where you're going to use it for the most. You turn it on, it'll just give you an endless supply of hot water. Okay. You can also change this from Celsius to Fahrenheit right there also. Okay. Okay. Alright. It's that simple. Just remember it does have that safety. You have to have water available for the gas burner to kick on. When you the toilet works like every other RV toilet. It sits over a black tank. And you have a flush pedal here. So when you get to the campground, you hook up your power and your water. Then you come in here. You put a dose of chemical right in the bowl. Then you'll take the pedal and you step on it like that. Water will come swirling out. In this case, there's antifreeze in the system, but water will come swirling out, and you step on it so it'll swirl right into the tank. You stand on that long enough to put at least a gallon of water into the tank below along with the chemical. At least a gallon. You can do more, but not less. So that's why I say at least a gallon. So once you've done that, it's ready to be used. If you don't do that, that's considered using it dry. And if you use it dry, the smell will be super bad for one thing, and it'll also get clogged up. So you never want to use it without at least a gallon of water in the tank along with a dose of chemical. Okay? Alrighty. And there's also a vent up here with a powered fan. Okay. So we'll come back a little farther here. You have TV hookups here, obviously, and a backing plate here for a bracket. You have your emergency exit here. You just push that all the way through. Then you grab a hold of this knob, this red knob, pull out the screen, and you can exit that way in an emergency. Okay. You have a closet with some shelves for shoes or whatever. Drawers, all the usual stuff. You have some storage underneath here also. You can see, like a foot locker sort of. And this is a 50 amp system, right? So what they're telling us here is that if you want to add a second air conditioner, it's already pre-wired for that. The air conditioner will fit right in here. So if you're interested, you'd call us up and we would schedule an appointment for you, and we can drop a second AC in. If you're going to be camping where it's really hot for long periods of time, you might want to add one. It's up to you. Camping in a while and see what you want to do, if anything, but it's already pre-wired, so it's a really simple install. Okay? Alright. So, I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit. Keep in mind what I said about inspecting the roof. That's very important. It should be part of your regular maintenance. And also, right now, it's winterized in the sense that the water's been purged from the system and replaced with antifreeze, so it's got antifreeze in the system, so it's all set for the winter, okay? Any more questions you can ask us after you've walked through it and looked at the video and checked out your trailer, and then we can answer any more questions you have, okay? Thank you.